My next guest is Peter Orona. Peter, you are a seniors advocate. You have been on every one of my shows, television, radio. Now you're here, and you've helped thousands of people out there. For how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing Medicare for about 5 years.
Okay, and so tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
We're a licensed agent in the state of Arizona, also licensed in California, and now in Michigan as well, and help people understand Medicare. So we start with education, educate them on how Medicare works, and then we do a full analysis and see what their needs are, and then we suggest plans to them that best suits them for when they turn 65, or if they're disabled and they need Medicare, we help them with that as well.
Well, let's talk about what Medicare is.
Yeah, so Medicare is it's a government benefit. So obviously you worked all your life to get Medicare Part A, you pay into it for taxes, and then you get Part B when you turn 65, or if your state determines that you're disabled, then you'd be awarded to be able to enroll in Medicare when you're disabled under 65.
Talk about the different parts, because one thing I know about Medicare is there's a ton of alphabets in that soup.
Yeah, there's the 4 components to Medicare is ABCD Medicare, which is my website. But Part A is for hospitals. Part B is for doctors, specialist labs. Part C is really Medicare Advantage. It takes Part A and Part B and puts them together. And then Part D specifically talks about Medicare prescription drug plans.
How do people qualify then for that?
Well, you qualify by aging in. Some people, when they turn 65, they immediately want Medicare. They're not working or they're self-employed. Then they age into Medicare and they're ready to leave the work group. And so they're able to get Medicare. And some people work a little bit longer, 67, 68 years old, and they're on a group plan. So you can stay on your Medicare plan, or on your group plan. And then when you're ready to leave the group, you are guaranteed issue into a Medicare plan.
Do you do consultations with people? How does it work?
Yeah, so I set them up. I do one-to-one consultations, meet with them. It's personalized. It's about them. We review with them. Most of the time it's in their home, and we talk to them about what their needs are, make sure they understand it. So we start with the basis of education, and then we back ourselves into a plan based on what their needs are.
And there's no obligation to it, but here's the thing, what I know about you. You are passionate about what you do. You want to help them. You find out about them.
Yeah, I really, I do. Really comes education first and make sure they understand how it works. So Medicare is really confusing. They don't need to be an expert. We just want them to have a basis of understanding. So when we speak about the A's and the B's of Medicare, they understand that. And then when we really come down to it, we really want to make sure that we have a plan that's going to work for them. So that, a lot of times people are in a Medicare plan and they don't know how to maximize that benefit. So my job is to sit them down, make sure they understand what the benefits are that are available to them, and find them a plan that really maximizes their benefits so they can get the most out of it.
Well, let's see. When should people then enroll?
It's really individually driven. There's no rule of thumb, but usually when people turn 65, you're probably going to get some notifications from the government saying that you've qualified for Part A, and they're going to automatically enroll you in Part B. You don't have to enroll in Part B when you turn 65 if you're on a group employer plan, because that's considered credible coverage. And with that coverage, you continue to stay on that plan with your group, or you can decide to leave and get on Medicare. People will be surprised how good of benefits they can receive on Medicare, and when they compare it to the group plan, sometimes it may benefit them to leave, sometimes it may benefit them to stay. So I sit down and I do that consultation with them. And then when the timing's right, maybe a year later, they call me and we enroll them in a plan that makes sense.
I think that's what's important with talking to you, is because you never know. They wouldn't know until they would actually talk to someone who's a specialist like you, who can tell them, maybe this is a better plan for you, or maybe not.
Yeah, and then, sometimes when people turn 65, they stay on the group plan. They can get Part A, which is hospitals, and that becomes secondary to the group plan. So you can have Part A and a group plan, but Part A won't pay out until the group plan pays, so it'll be secondary to them. So just an additionally insured, maybe overinsured, but still there for them.
Are there any special periods that to enroll?
Well, when you turn 65, you have the month of your birth date. So if it's April, then you have that month, the entire month, to make a decision. 3 months before your birth date, you can enroll, and then 3 months afterwards. So when you first turn 65, you have a 7-month window. And then when you decide to leave a group, you have a 6-month window to enroll as well, especially in a supplement plan which you're guaranteed issue into a supplement plan. Outside of those periods, if you're already on a Medicare plan what you can do is you can enroll during certain moments, as if you're moving into a new area. If you have a chronic condition such as diabetes or congestive heart failure, certain plans in your zip code or your service area may be available to you. Or if you have extra help. So extra help is someone who has low income and they get help from the government. So if you have what they call LIS, a low income subsidy, or qualify for that, then you can have a special enrollment period and enroll in there as well. And the same goes for full dual eligible. So people who have extra low income, that maybe they're beneath the poverty level, certain poverty level in the government, they can qualify for what they call full dual status, which is an access plan or Medicaid combined with a Medicare plan. And so I help people through all levels of income, regardless of what they are, and really I get a lot of, I guess, good feelings when I help people who don't know what they have because they didn't have access to it, they weren't aware. And so I educate them and I give them a plan that they find out that they didn't even know they had available to them.
Well, one thing I know is that's what you're all about, is you work for them.
Absolutely. Everything that I do works for them. I work with all the major carriers from A to Z. All of them I represent. And so it really doesn't matter which plan that they enroll into. It's the right plan that they enroll into.
Right. And I think that's what you want to get out the most, is why couldn't somebody just call, the big companies that they hear about?
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's a lot of, they do a great job marketing themselves. But someone like myself can enroll you in any one of those plans. If you call a specific company, they're specifically only can talk to you about what their products are, and those products may be really good products, but it may not be the product suitable for you as a beneficiary. And what I bring to the table is I look at the entire spectrum of what's available to you, and then decide which one is going to be most favorable to give you the best benefits.
He works for you, and he's the seniors advocate. Check him out. It's abcdmedicare.com.